Hey guys, and welcome to today's idiot video. Today we have two videos and two idiots who both received criminal trespass warnings for refusing to follow store policies regarding wearing a mask and social distancing. But before we begin, I must make this statement. This video is in 100% support of the WHO and CDC guidelines regarding wearing a mask and social distancing during the current COVID-19 global pandemic. Wear a mask while you're out in public, and don't be an idiot. So let's begin.
I'm sorry. I apologize for the way I spoke to you. My anxiety is a little shaken right now.
These are really hard times right now.
I totally understand.
I'm not unsympathetic to what you're going through, and it's been how long? March?
Yeah.
It's been a long
I've
time.
dealt with this every single day.
Exactly what have you dealt with every single day of your life, Karen? People not putting up with your bullshit anymore? Or is it the fact that businesses are now telling their employees that the customer is not always right? I know, Karen. For an idiot like you, that's a hard life.
So they're responding to what they're for.
Right, and I'm responding to my civil rights and my medical rights and my disability.
You know, I used to say that being a self-entitled idiot isn't a disability. But now I'm thinking that maybe we should review our classifications of mental illnesses to include being a self-entitled Neander Karen as an actual disability.
We're not here. We're just trying to keep the peace. That's all. Okay. That's all.
Right.
Okay. All right. So we called all the way up to our regional, and he said we're standing our ground on this. In order to talk to you, need to have a mask.
All right, so can I have you finish filling this out with me then?
I'm not feeling anything. But I'm going to issue what's called a trespass warning.
Then I'm going to go ahead and issue this, or I can just go ahead and do a civil citizen's arrest.
A civil citizen's arrest. Do you even know how stupid you sound, Karen? And what are you gonna arrest them for? Doing their job? Or maybe because they have a heart and compassion for the people around them? Good luck with that, Karen. You're a fucking idiot.
Because this is against the law. And this is Penal Code 837
Entering and
PC.
occupying another person's property without permission.
It's a public
and refusing to
domain.
leave private property.
It's a public domain.
not.
So you're preventing entry into your establishment.
This
That's
letter
against the
serves as a
California.
trespass warning.
I'm not taking it. If you refuse entry into your establishment, which is open to the public, you are also restricting the free movement of an individual engaging in false imprisonment.
Hi, my name is Karen, and I'm not only stupid, but I also know the law. Under California Penal Code 236 PC, the commission of the crime of false imprisonment is when one person restrains, detains, or confines another person without his or her consent. And no one is keeping you from leaving and shopping somewhere else, Karen. You're a fucking idiot.
Are you listening to this too? So you're in violation of several laws if you prohibit the entry of someone that's not wearing a mask, like myself. I have a medical condition. I'm not just willy-nilly not wearing a mask. Declaring this as your store policy does not absolve you from your violation of the law, because there is no law saying that masks are required.
There might not be a law stating that masks are required, but there is a statewide mandate, and we're also dealing with a global fucking pandemic, Karen. So it's probably in the best interest of these stores to continue to follow the guidelines and mandates set forth by the state and refuse service to idiots like you.
And it says that even in the California Department of Health that there are exemptions. It's even in the CDC website that there are exemptions for not wearing a mask. I fall under that with my medical exemption from my doctor. My doctor advised me not to wear a mask.
Now that's just a bunch of bullshit, because your doctor didn't tell you that you don't have to wear a mask when everyone else does. Now there are several exemptions to the mask policy, most notably people who have burns on their face or a skin condition that would get worse by wearing a mask, or people who suffer from actual mental illnesses and wearing a mask would be detrimental to their mental health. But nowhere, and I mean nowhere, does it say that being a self-entitled piece of trash is a medical condition. Karen, you're a fucking idiot.
And I carry that with me.
We were told you that we were suffering.
Right, and there's things that, do you understand that there's things that you might want, but that, like, don't look appetizing to me? Like, I should have the right, and I do have the right to shop. Can you not put your hand so close to my face, though, please? I appreciate that.
As you can appreciate, that you would like to shop for yourself, you appreciate that the other 100 people in there would like to shop for someone that has a mask?
I do understand that.
Okay, good. So now that you understand that hundreds of people would rather you wear a mask when you're around them, can you not just wear a mask when you're doing your shopping? I mean, can you not understand that if hundreds of people stop shopping at Trader Joe's because they allow one idiot to get her way, then that business is going to lose in the long run?
But at the same time, you have to understand, what else am I supposed to do?
Well, Karen, let's see. Almost all stores now have the option of curbside pickup or online shopping and delivery. And you can always just go out and find a store that allows you to shop without a mask. So if you don't want to wear a mask, then you do have options. But if it's important to you to shop at that particular Trader Joe's, then make things simple on yourself. Just wear a mask and stop being an idiot.
Fine, then let's go ahead and issue this. Then let's go ahead and issue this legal notice. So it's unlawful for you or another employee to require someone to wear a mask. If you're a licensed medical doctor who has examined me.
Catch their trail.
So how come, I have a question, Officer Pete.
Okay, Casey, can you document all this stuff?
Why is it okay for them to enforce their shit, but I can't enforce my constitutional rights?
Because it's not your constitutional right, you idiot. And I'm still waiting for any one of these Karens, or any one of you Karens that are watching this video, to name that right. You know why you don't? Because you can't. Because your rights to liberty and freedom end where our rights to liberty and freedom begin. But don't let me stop us from getting to the best part of this video, the fake crime.
Casey, right? Okay, so here's the thing. I can't make them violate their corporate policy as much as you can't make them.
They're violating the law. They're violating the law.
That's handled in court. That's not handled today. They're not going to let you shop. They want to issue this.
I'm not taking that.
So here's what we're going to do. I'm going to get
I don't have other copies unless they fill them out. And why can't he sign them?
You're saying, I got what they're saying. And I'm going to do an official case. That way, if you do want to take this further, you can. But I got a document. So I have all the information. We've been recording the whole time. I know everything that happened today.
No, you don't, because you weren't here from the beginning. I have everything from the beginning.
That is evidence.
And just like that, Karen's fake tears fell on the ears of absolutely no one. Because no one cares about your selfish feelings, Karen. You're an idiot. Okay, so I think it's time we get on to our second video, which features quite possibly the dumbest Karen yet. So let's continue.
And I would like to receive those.
You're holding up my process. I have to get out of
I'm
here.
not. He is. He's choosing to do that.
We
Shut
cannot
down
help
your
you.
phone.
We cannot help you.
I'm
ma'am.
not shutting down my phone.
We cannot help you until
This
you
is
step
a
back
private
outside.
residence, and actually, I am restricting your recording, and so therefore, you are not allowed to do this.
I am actually.
Wow, Karen, you're a fucking idiot. Did you really just say that the inside of a UPS store is your private residence? I'm sure you're gonna tell us why, and this has gotta be gold.
It isn't? Oh, apparently because I had 3 packages delivered here.
Where's your mask?
My mask? I'm not a food formal.
So you're not a conformer, huh? So that means you don't follow the speed limit or wear seatbelts when you're driving. And you don't wait in lines to order your food or wear shirt and shoes on a hot day when going into the gas station. Oh wait, okay, so you are a conformer. Unless it's something you don't understand or agree with. Got it. Now whether you're a conformer or not, one thing is true. You are a fucking idiot.
Why are you wearing one?
Because I feel like
Why are you wearing one?
because I'm protecting everyone else
I've
around
already
me.
had COVID back on December 20th, 2019.
Did this idiot really just say that she had COVID in December 2019? You do realize that the first confirmed case of COVID-19 in America wasn't until January 20th, 2020, right? Just for saying stupid shit like that, Karen, you're gonna get dinged twice. Because you are a fucking idiot.
Can you go so we can finish? Can you go so we can finish?
Can you finish?
I can't because you're holding up everybody.
Is she the manager? Who's the manager?
No one's going to help
Who
you until
is
you
the
step back
manager?
outside.
Who is the manager? Who is? You are. Why did you list that?
Because he doesn't have to identify himself as a manager to every self-entitled idiot that walks through his door. Normal people don't just walk into a business and demand to speak to a manager. It takes a special kind of moron to do that. And you, Karen, are that special type of moron.
Why did you say that? Where are my packages?
Because you are not.
Where are my packages? They were delivered here for several days ago, 5 days ago.
I will come out and help you if you just step back outside so we can.
Go ahead.
So we can.
Take care of her.
No,
Go ahead.
step outside.
Hi.
You will not be helped until you step outside. No one's helping you until you step outside. If you want to break our social distancing,
I'm old. This is already 6 feet apart.
No, you're not.
Be careful with that hand salute, Karen. A few more degrees in the air, and you might reveal your true colors.
And we're wearing masks.
You're not wearing that.
You are the fourth person to walk in.
You're conformer. I'm sorry you
Okay,
established that.
regardless of that, ma'am, you still need to step back outside.
I have packages here that were
can get-
delivered
and
to
we
me,
can
so
give
this
them
is
to
my
you.
right. This is my
We can
private
give them
property.
to you.
This
It
is
is
my right.
Well, first off, it's not your right, Karen. And second, if you don't want to comply with UPS's store policies, then you have the right to ship your packages somewhere else. Like your house, you idiot.
How can you criminally trespass somebody or block somebody from criminally trespassing? Let me explain it to you, okay?
An enemy has been slain.
But my business and my packages are sent in here. So, yes? So if my aunt sends something from Kentucky or from Kansas or Missouri here, and this is allegedly my address, and I come to pick it up because I have a apartment number or something as 123, and it doesn't exist or it doesn't get delivered to my house. So what is that? That's what I'm trying to straighten out right now. Do we need to stop the packages?
Yes, Karen, you finally get it. If you don't want to abide by UPS's rules and regulations, then you should probably have your packages sent elsewhere. You are a fucking idiot. Okay, so I think this is going to be where we end the video today. These two Karens are just prime examples of what can go wrong when you act like an idiot in public. And more stores should follow the example set forth by Trader Joe's and UPS and start criminally trespassing these team-killing fucktards so they don't come back. Eventually, they'll run out of places to shop and they'll start following the rules like everyone else. So wear your mask, Karen, and don't be a fucking idiot. Alright guys, thanks for sticking around until the end of the video. If you found this video interesting and you'd like to see more, then be sure to hit that like button, leave a comment below, and subscribe if you haven't done so already. And a massive shout out to all of my channel members and patrons whose support helps me keep doing what I love to do, calling out idiots on the internet. I'm Team Skeptic, and I'm out.
things off in the Russell Court in Kentucky. Domestic violence order filed by our
and responded to a random past and had triggered the conflict. And the statement should have been
Has been
true and
slain.
correct at that time.
An ally has been slain.
Part of your sworn testimony here today. Are you asking the court to enter into restraining the respondent from any contact? Taking your statements in your petition as part of the testimony, but I need you to tell it briefly in your own words what happened because you asked for it.
Things have been escalating. Arrests, and she got out of jail. And I guess she started. Up until that point, she got out of jail. She started.
No. Business has nothing to do with
Miss Hardwick,
No.
you will be held in contempt of this court if you become disruptive.
I don't care. I haven't done anything to this court. I haven't done anything to
Okay.
him.
She will be arrested for contempt of the court. You will serve 10 days for contempt of court. Go now.
Ally has been slain.
After spending nearly 5 months in jail, Alyssa Hardwick pleads guilty to intimidating a participant in a legal process. She avoids any further jail time by agreeing to a court-ordered diversion or rehabilitation program for 5 years.
The emergency protective order will be in place of no contact.
Before we hit the courtroom for our next story, we're in Springfield, Ohio. John's drive-thru is closing up shop for the night. A man approaches from the back.
An enemy has been slain.
The owner spots him on the security camera feed.
I seek only the strongest.
Security camera footage and a tip from a local hospital who treated a man for multiple gunshot wounds, police identify the perp as Ricky Hand, a known career criminal.
So, John, what'd you do with the pistol that you had in there? Because you know, it's my understanding when you run it in there, you started pulling out and the guy saw you. Right, but I didn't even get
Catch
that. Well, I think he's robbing cases of gunpoint or so.
An ally has been slain.
Hang on a second. No, you and I have been straight with each other every day. Yeah.
Whose head?
That's why he shot you.
Hand is indicted on 30 charges connected to a string of business break-ins at gunpoint. He confesses to a series of armed robberies.
There have been probably a half a dozen armed robberies. Now you're looking at John's. You're looking at this break into this beauty salon. The beauty salon's a bonus because I didn't even know anything about that. They told me that.
Killer's path.
I'm going to prison for a long time. Well, you know that.
Your team has destroyed a
Now
turret.
Hand sits in a Clark County courtroom in Ohio, where a judge has just handed down a sentence.
You just gave me 40 years. Sir? Yes. You just gave me 40 years. Well, guess what?
Strike when ready.
again.
An ally has been slain.
You see, he's being prepared for the worst.
You just gave him 40 years. Well, guess what?
Look closely. Hand reaches into his arm sling and pulls out some
Killing
cloth that was
spree.
hiding a small bottle filled
Shut
with
down. Has destroyed turret.
Ricky Hand lands in even more trouble with a feces flinging attack.
Hunter
In
never
addition to his
rests.
previous charges, he now faces charges of harassment with bodily fluids, obstructing justice, and retaliation. Let's head to Jefferson Circuit Court in Louisville, Kentucky.
This is the matter of Adam Satterley.
This is 36-year-old Adam Satterley.
The scent of
Satterley's in court today on a bond hearing related to drug charges.
Just always so rude. This was great.
Satterley's attorney warns his client to stay calm after hearing the bad news. Judge Stevens has revoked Satterley's bond, meaning Satterley will return to custody.
Legendary.
That's all the cases that I had.
The judge seems to be moving on with the day, but then
Miss Holly, before you go, Miss Holly.
An enemy has been slain. An ally has been slain.
I seek only the strongest.
Oh, great. You still have Satterley? Bring him back.
Your turret has been destroyed.
I apologize. Just
An ally has been slain. An enemy has been
the
slain.
judge has some unfinished business with Satterley.
Your team has destroyed a turret.
Oh, that's your brother. You said a racial epithet.
No, I didn't mean it like that.
Oh, you didn't mean it like
No.
that? Well, I'll tell you what. I'm going to hold you in contempt of court for having said that. And you don't speak those words.
Your enemy has been
Don't
slain.
use that word. I'll give you 60 days for having used that word. Contempt right now.
This my collection.
Disrespectful. Don't ever do it again. Thank you, Sheriff. Thank you, Ms. Ellis.
Satterley's hit with an additional 60 days for contempt of court. Following the incident, Judge Stevens offered Satterley an opportunity. Satterley apologizes for using a racial slur. He would reduce the additional sentence to just a day. Satterley took the judge up on his offer.
Yes, sir. I apologize. It wasn't intended for you. It was. I was mad at my brother. That's all it was.
Has been slain. An ally has been slain. Shut down.
Our next stop is at the Broward County Courthouse in Fort Lauderdale, Florida.
Charged with 2 counts of violating an injunction.
Where Christopher Cologne appears for his bond
Enemy
hearing
killing
via
spree.
video before Judge John Hurley.
Court finds probable cause.
Cologne was arrested and charged with
Enemy
2 counts of
double
violating
kill.
a restraining order in a domestic violence case related to his ex-girlfriend. He also has an open pending case in which he's being charged for aggravated battery against a pregnant woman, his current girlfriend.
I think I remember you from before coming into this courtroom.
Yes, sir.
Less than
Your
a month
turret
ago,
has been destroyed.
aggravated battery case. So the judge
An enemy has been
exactly
slain.
thrilled to see him again.
You're already out on bond. You're already out.
Yes, sir, and my bondsman is willing to take me out again on a bond.
That's very kind of him. That won't be necessary. Hey, because you're
Well,
not
I'll see
going
you
to-
guys. Well, I'll see you guys in with a lawyer and a lawsuit too.
Oh, okay. Oh, wait. Bring him back, please.
And you can go yourself too.
Turn the mic back.
You guys can.
An enemy has been slain.
Your bottom two will be $125,000.
How much is my bond?
$250,000.
Okay, no problem. I can bond out with it.
Court will also order, sir, case 14-7168 CF10. You'll be held without bond. That bond is revoked.
With the amount seemingly no issue, the judge has just taken away the bond from the aggravated battery case, meaning Malone will not be able to go free this time.
Like I said, you guys. Why you I don't give a. Go ahead, I got lawyers, man. Look here, man. I don't got nothing to say, man.
Now, I will want you to attempt to court other than this court.
Has destroyed a turret.
Is there anything you'd like to say?
You ain't no Hitler, man, for me to have to salute.
Noting that you made no comments in defense, the court this time
You.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
A week later, Cologne is back in front of the judge.
Judge Harley, I apologize. What I did, I was wrong. And not only I was wrong for cursing you out, of the deputies hearing me curse you out, I apologize to them too. Your Honor, I apologize real bad, and I'm asking for my apology.
Gets that additional year sentence for contempt, cut down to time served. But still gets no bond on the aggravated battery case. Serves almost 14 months before he's released. We head down to Daytona Beach, Florida, where a call comes into the Volusia County Sheriff's Office.
Judges don't want to bring people to courtrooms. I gotta. What's going on? Who the f you calling, sir?
Let's see what they're made of.
Out in handcuffs, and I'm gonna shoot that son of a in the street. I'm letting you know I'm gonna shoot this. You got it? Waiting for her to get there in the morning. I'm gonna
I seek only the strongest.
Detectives identify the anonymous caller and track him down. Alan Hardy is arrested, charged with making death threats against a judge, whom he mistakenly believes took his children away in a child custody case. Now, a year later, with a different judge, his trial begins.
Well, that happened.
contempt for behavior that you demonstrated during the jury trial. You threatened the unborn child of the prosecutor.
Shut
Then
down.
also in the back room.
McCarty's removed again. This time he's placed in a back room with a one-way mirror.
Count one, I'm going to adjudicate him guilty, sentence him to 15 years in Florida State Prison. As to count two, I'm going to adjudicate him guilty, sentence him to 5 years in state prison, consecutive to count one. So a total of 20 years.
McCarty's currently serving his sentence in a Florida State prison.
Thanks for being a fan of Court Camp. Subscribe to A&E to never miss a new video and catch full episodes on aetv.com.
Jail a week earlier captured the moment when Webb, former inmate there, who served 3 months on assault charges, accelerated his car and run over 2 jail employees. One man was able to get out of the way, but one man was injured after Webb's vehicle pinned him against the wall.
Friends, please stop
but this
dying.
incident is
Love
far from the last
Akshay.
time Bass Webb will spit in the face of the law.
Catch their train.
While
Your
waiting to go to
turret has
trial,
been
he
destroyed.
and 4 other inmates incited a riot inside the Fayette County Detention Center. After being shot,
Nothing will escape.
Webb whips a metal telephone box at a corrections officer.
Does not mean that that is not readily capable.
Charged with the unsolved murder of an ex-girlfriend. Facing a possible death sentence if convicted at trial, Webb pled guilty to the murder and got an additional 50 years. Now, 5 years later, Webb is back in court yet again after being charged with the murder of a different girlfriend nearly a decade later. The case came back positive after a jailhouse tip led to the discovery of the woman's remains. This time, as he's let in, he reveals a new sinister look that shocks those in attendance. A closer look at Webb's recent head tattoos reveals a
Enemy
demented
rampage.
It reads, "Those that must die, all judges, all prosecutors, all cops, and me." So that 3 rats have been scratched out.
Your turret has been destroyed.
Plus an excellent. Webb death.
An enemy is unstoppable.
Judge asked Webb
What their mane does.
A summoner has been
courtroom. The judge reads this. Webb has been sentenced to life in prison with the possibility of 25 years. The defendant is Gary Walters, who's on parole for various financial crimes. He's in court today over restitution. He's ordered to pay his sentence.
I've been making my payments. I've been on Social Security. I've been paying what I can in restitution. Okay. All of a sudden, he said, "You got to pay $26,000 a month."
As Walters makes his case, there's a man standing a few feet behind him. And the judge takes notice.
I'm gonna have to go back to the original court and then possibly.
Hold on a second. Who's this guy staring at me?
This is Kim Blandino.
I'm a co-plaintiff in the civil case.
Kim Blandino has nothing to do with it.
ally has been slain.
But he is a co-plaintiff in a civil suit that Walters has filed against his former attorney. Blandino has earned a dubious reputation for filing frivolous motions and joining civil suits where he has no affiliation. But Judge Herndon is Blandino disrupt his courtroom.
Are you an attorney? Then you need to sit down. You need to talk to me or whatever. Pardon?
Can I make a record?
No.
Okay.
I'm going to make a record about you in a minute, but you need to sit down and be quiet because you're not a plaintiff or a defendant in my criminal case. You're not an attorney.
Physically react to Judge Herndon's comments. The judge has a few choice words for him and his habit of acting like an attorney.
You know what? Let me tell you something. You all act like a you should know where to put. It's never get out. It's never inadvertent when you come in and act all disrespectful to people.
The case. The 18 months later, Blandino's back in court, but this time as a defendant. He's been charged with extortion and is under house arrest. He has a hearing before Judge James Bixler, who's well aware of Blandino's history as a wannabe litigator. Blandino's representing himself, but the court has appointed his
Hunter never rests.
Objection.
Shut up.
I have the right to object, I believe, Your Honor.
You have the right to be held in contempt of court. And that's what's going to happen if you don't shut up. I'm not going to let this guy your reputation has preceded you. Will you accept appointment on him as standby counsel?
Here. Mr. Blandino.
What did I just say? No.
I can't say anything.
No.
Blandino refuses to quit, to the point where Blandino finally gets the message and agrees to meet with the court-appointed counsel.
If I
Okay. Bye-bye.
Thank you.
Blandino remained under house arrest for extortion and impersonating law officers.
We've all heard of a judge throwing the book at someone for their crimes, but you're about to see a judge who's throwing a book for a whole different reason.
Lawyers and the judge are trying to select a jury. Prospective juror sits off camera.
Enemy double kill. Enemy has been slain. Bring it down a notch. Your
It
turret
looks like
has
the
been
judge is
destroyed.
fishing for a potential juror.
No, listen, what we're not going to have is juries, people coming in overnight and picking up and trying to get these out now so they can get out of jury. That's not going to happen. If I find a
Your inhibitor has been destroyed.
changes it because we're trying to get out of jury on the jury, there's going to be repercussions.
The judge is unsatisfied and demands an explanation.
I said I had other issues yesterday, and you said you'd get back to me.
An enemy has been slain.
Why you got issues? Why can't you're saying you can't be fair and impartial to both sides? You're going to throw out our entire because you don't want to be fair and impartial.
Disgusted with the juror who happens to be worse, the judge throws a book, which turns out to be a pocket-sized version of the U.S. Constitution against the wall. Things are heating up, so attorneys attempt to intervene.
Like I said,
Your inhibitor is respawning soon.
I've been involved with and I've been involved 13 years old.
Your inhibitor is respawning soon. Ally has been slain.
The case against Azucena eventually makes it to trial, and he's found guilty.
Enemy double kill.
Sentenced to life in prison, but that's not where the story ends.
You're saying you can't be fair and impartial to both sides.
The Nevada Supreme Court
Defeat.
overturns the conviction, claiming Judge Scotti created an intimidating environment which tainted the jury panel. Azucena is awarded a new trial and a new judge. Until then, he remained in custody. Although Scotti apologized for the incident, his outburst resulted in ethics charges, courtesy of the Nevada Commission of Judicial Discipline.
You're removed. Go home. All right? I don't like your attitude.
We head to Orlando, Florida. The defendant is 39-year-old Jeremy DeWitt. He's been charged with impersonating a police officer. DeWitt runs a company that provides private security escorts during funeral processions.
I'll get the light before the bridge, you get the light after the bridge.
It's a legitimate business that DeWitt is authorized to operate.
Get to me, get to me, get to me.
What he's not authorized to do is direct traffic.
Go past me, go past me. Repo, take this intersection and keep this under control.
Weave through traffic at illegal speeds.
I just did 110 down this road.
Or, most notably, pull over
Hey, pull over, pull over.
and confront drivers while dressed somewhat like a real officer.
What are you doing? What the does it look like I'm doing, dummy? Get the out before you find out. It's not fair to your police officer. Listen, I don't know how to do what I'm not going to do. What you need to do is figure out the reason I'm talking.
With such blatant behavior, the local media gets wind of what DeWitt is up to. Before long, he appears on the radar of the real
Narrator. Hear text on screen aloud.
DeWitt's charged with impersonating an officer and released on bond. But while out on bond, police get a warrant for DeWitt's own body camera and find a wealth of incriminating footage, including more pullovers.
Get the over!
And
Money in the bank or not, you still have to follow their rules, Karen. So if you want to take your money out, but you don't want to wear a mask, then you can always do so from the comfort of whatever gas station dumpster you call home.
It's not. Businesses have the right to refuse service, even if you're not wearing a mask. That's their choice. Awesome. Well, you need to go and get a mask and then take your money. You're not allowed to do it. Man, listen, we're gonna do this. You can wear the hard way. Yes.
Yes, Karen. Yes. He's going to arrest you. And I would be lying if I said that watching self-entitled Karens get arrested wasn't my favorite new hobby. Well, that and watching sovereign citizens get their windows busted out.
For intruding on premises.
That's hilarious.
That's exactly what it is.
Yeah, and you believe in this?
I believe in it.
Do you believe in this?
The laws, yes.
The law says that I do not have to wear a mask.
No, Karen. The law says that businesses have a right to refuse service to anyone. And they can ask you to leave too. And if you choose not to leave, well, the cops have a right to arrest your dumbass for criminal trespassing.
You can not in public, but you're not in public. You're not in public. I'm not going to argue with you about this. This is not a public place. This is a private business. No, you're not. We're going to go outside.
Are you serious?
Do I look like I'm kidding?
Now, I can't see the officer's face, but just from his tone of voice alone, no, Karen. He doesn't look like he's kidding.
Well, I don't know, because
let's go walk outside.
You've got some issues.
I've got issues?
That you're taking away people's human rights.
Okay. Let's go outside.
Let's go outside. Shoot me, people? Is he going to shoot me for trying not to breathe?
Cool.
Come on, dude.
Don't do that. Oh, no.
Do not touch me. Who do you think you are?
He's the one that's going to take your monkey ass to jail for not following the rules and not leaving when ordered to do so. Now I wonder, is Grandma going to rack up any additional charges while she still has the opportunity to do so?
Oh, back up. Some old lady is getting handcuffed here.
Ma'am, put your hands behind your back. Say it. You don't stop resisting. Stop.
Are you gonna like get real here? Really?
Relax.
No, it's gonna get real.
Karen, the only person getting real is you. That's getting really stupid in public. And why are you trying to involve the other patrons in your mess? Are you trying to get them kicked out of their bank as well? Or are you just looking for a ride-along companion on your way to jail?
Come on.
Now you're smashing my arm into my private area.
Your private area? Put your hands behind your back.
My hand is behind my back.
God damn, Karen! How dumb are you? How the fuck can both of your hands be behind your back when both of your hands are clearly in front of you on camera? Now I know that this Karen is limited by her intellectual prowess, but it's because of people like her that there should definitely be a limit on the number of dum-dums that are allowed out of their padded room at the same time.
Turn over on your stomach, put your hand behind your back, relax,
I'm totally relaxed.
No, you are not relaxed.
Leah, is it?
I did.
Not relaxed at all.
My uncle Deckard Cain into the depths of the old cathedral. I tried to search for him. The dead were
I love it when these Karens think that they are so much in the right that every person around them is just going to join in on their lunacy. Unfortunately for her, she forgot that she's not in her safe space on Facebook and that she's in the real world where normal people are getting sick and tired of these anti-mask cave dwellers.
Wow, what about the sheep? Dad, someone's filming this. You're hurting me.
Oh, I'm filming it.
This is like cutting.
Yeah,
This is
okay.
like cutting.
Stand up. Stand up. Stand yourself up.
And how do you suggest?
What can I
sir?
do to
I am
help
like
fight
a
the risk?
65-year-old woman.
Okay.
Captain Dalton
Sit
and the
up.
militia were slaughtered by those
Stand
things.
up.
Don't worry. I will avenge them.
Well, I have seen you fight.
Stand up.
Strike at the wretched
Ayúdame,
mothers and
por
their queen.
favor.
They're the ones vomiting out these horror.
You trying to speak Spanish to people?
I do speak Spanish.
Stand up.
I don't know why she started to speak Spanish out of nowhere, but I can only imagine that she looked up and saw a Hispanic person there and said, "Oh, that person's not helping me because that person doesn't understand my stupidity when it's said in English." Well, here's a newsflash for you, Karen. Stupid is stupid in every language.
Hi, Deckard.
Are you happy now, lady?
Okay.
I'm not happy.
Okay, stand up. Stand up.
I refuse to listen to the...
Come on.
You know what? I think
She's getting your stuff. Come on.
I think you broke my freaking foot.
You made that shit up, Karen. I mean, I didn't hear you crying out in agonizing pain when the police officer broke all the bones in your foot. Now, I did hear your nails on chalkboard screeching voice when you were yelling about your rights and you were lying about your hands being behind your back. But broken foot? Not a fucking peep.
Okay, I'll call.
And that's
I will never
she's gonna
forget
pick it up.
the
Come
first
on.
time I
We'll go
saw
outside.
these horrors shambling out of the misty woods. Our loved ones,
Morning,
buried
Buckley.
long ago, rose from their graves and began to attack the living. However, the risen dead were only the beginning.
Wrong again, Karen. This is what they do to you when you're told to leave a privately owned business and you refuse. See, you had every opportunity to leave on your own. But no, your rights got in the way of you doing the smart thing, and you can thank your rights for getting your ass thrown in jail.
I got this. I'm 10-4. Send me a message for a 60-year-old white female. She's complaining of foot pain. Take a seat. Take a seat.
He might have broke your ego, but your foot? No, that's just a lie.
Take a seat.
49, we're out with him.
I've become stronger.
Okay.
Take a seat.
Are you? Where's your mask? Where's your
I'm
mask?
6 feet away from you.
Oh, well, I was 6 feet away from those people
All
in
right,
there, too.
in there. Get inside.
Come on, you guys.
Get
Let's
inside.
get real.
Karen, in case you didn't notice the steel bracelets on your wrist, shit already got real. And you can enjoy your overnight stay at the county inn. Alright, so that's the end of the first video. But before we load up the second video, why don't you guys help me out by leaving a comment on this video and subscribing if you're not already subscribed. So let's continue.
Unlawful discrimination by denying
Ma'am.
the entry of member of the public.
Ma'am, if you refuse to leave, you're going to go to jail for trespassing.
I love it. This officer is no nonsense and gives her two very distinct options. One, leave the store. Two, go to jail. One makes sense. Two is nonsensical. Now I would ask you, which one do you think she chose? But if she chose option number one, we wouldn't be making this video.
Am I being punished for helping that stranger
I'm not going to
hunt
ask you
down
again.
one
Federal rights.
Grab your stuff. Let's go.
No, I'm not going.
Perhaps
Okay.
You're in
he was
violation of the law.
Perhaps he
Karen,
can banish the
did you
shadow
not
hanging
learn
over my
anything
life.
from your last video? I mean, no one expects you to have the mental fortitude to solve basic algebra. But god damn, didn't you get arrested for this very same thing last week? You ever heard the saying, doing the same thing over and over and expecting different results? Yeah, that was Einstein, and he was talking about Karens.
You want to hear this or not? Ma'am, What are you doing?
Don't jerk away from me.
Listen to me.
Don't jerk away from
You
me.
see this?
Yeah, I saw it.
You see this? You know where it
I
came
do.
from?
Turn around.
You know where it came from now?
Yeah, Karen. It came from the How to Ruin Your Life in 30 Seconds or Less handbook. One you seem to be all too familiar with.
Turn around.
Okay, I hope everyone's filming this because this is a major violation.
Listen, I don't want to hurt you.
A major violation.
Give me your arm.
You gonna take me down?
Yeah.
Oh, well, that's great. Hey. Oh, you're in such trouble.
Wait. You're the one wearing handcuffs, and you think they're the ones that are in trouble? You're an idiot.
Yes. I'm sorry, that's my personal business. You may not have it. That is my personal business. You may not have it. You are taking my rights away.
No, Karen. They aren't taking your rights away. They're arresting you for trespassing, and that's well within your rights.
She won't give up on the idea of rescuing her own.
Let's go.
Nor should she. I will help her become
You know
strong.
what? That cuff is really, really tight.
That's what happens when you resist. You pull away from all.
No, I'm trying to school you people. I'm trying to school you people on my rights.
No thanks, Karen. If I want to be schooled on my rights, then I'll go to an actual school and take a government class. Now, if I want to be endlessly entertained by the know-it-all Neanderthals of the internet, I'll just keep watching Karen videos.
Hey, buddy. See ya. Terry Wright.
Oh, you were a lady the other day causing issues in Galveston.
No, I was a lady the other day. Following my rights.
You didn't learn your lesson in Galveston?
Nope. She didn't learn her lesson by getting herself arrested in Galveston. Instead, she doubled down on stupidity and got herself arrested again in less than 1 week. Now there's gotta be some kind of Darwin Award that recognizes this level of stupidity.
What are you doing?
Taking your bag off?
Oh, wow, lady. That's my business.
It's Officer Arkley.
Is this,
Clear.
Have a seat. Have a seat.
Where's my coat?
They got a warrant for her.
Have a seat.
This is getting fun.
So if getting arrested for trespassing twice in 1 week is fun, and if sitting in the back of a cop car to learn that you have an active warrant is fun, what do you think possessing the body cam footage of both officers making the arrest is? Priceless. Okay, so I think this is going to be where we end the video today. There is only one thing more entertaining than watching a Karen get arrested for not wearing a mask. And that's watching the same Karen get arrested 2 times in 1 week for the same thing. Karen, you're an idiot. Alright guys, thanks for sticking around until the end of the video. If you found this video interesting or entertaining, then give it a thumbs up, leave a comment below, and subscribe if you haven't done so already. And a massive shout out to all of my channel members and patrons whose support helps me keep doing what I love to do, calling out idiots on the internet. I'm Team Skeptic, and I'm out.
Here, let me open the gate. Adria was my mother, but I don't know much about her. She died when I was very young. I was raised by Uncle Decker.
Your father.
I'm told he was a great warrior who was lost to the Christian side of the demons.
In fact, it's quite easy to prove that it's the energy of the heavens and of the ether, the luminiferous ether.
Energy of the heavens? That's the most pseudoscientific term I've ever heard.
The entire periodic table is quantum calculations, and it works. We use it to do chemistry. You have no clue what you're talking about. The periodic table is not mathematics. But you have to go off and sound like you're some sort of smarty pants by using big words like quantum calculations.
I'm sure that to you, quantum calculations sound like very big words. But to grown-up real chemists, they're real things that are done every day. And I'm sorry, I do know what I'm talking about. I studied chemistry. I've done chemistry. I taught chemistry. And because of that, I understand that quantum mechanical calculations allowed us to discern the shapes and relative energies of atomic orbitals that electrons inhabit within an atom. These electron configurations are what give elements their properties, and it is what is responsible for the periodicity that makes the periodic table what it is. This fundamental understanding allows us to predict the properties of certain compounds and therefore build new materials that are inside your computer and your smartphone that you use every day. These calculations also predict things like spectral lines, which connects chemistry beautifully to astronomy, because it allows us to look at the light from an object and know what it's made of. That's how we know the sun and the stars are made of the same stuff. But once again, if you don't understand that, it's not my problem.
Well, he's doing what he was told to do, right?
Yeah.
He's doing what he's told to do, which is to read the, the curriculum, the lesson plan, the educational programming.
No, guys. Myself and other teachers of undergraduate and graduate level material make our own curricula. When I taught what I pleased.
We were all indoctrinated by the same educational curriculum, the same system.
Also not true.
Hey guys, and welcome to today's idiot video. Today's video covers a First Amendment Karen named Auditing America, who demands to speak to the sergeant and then instantly regrets it. But before we begin with the video, let me be clear about something. I believe the First Amendment is one of, if not the most important constitutionally guaranteed right. And I see no problem with regular citizens ensuring that the government doesn't overstep its bounds. However, there's a right way to do it and a wrong way to do it. Today, you get to see the wrong way to do it. So let's begin.
How's it going today? I'll put those by themselves. Now I remember you. Hey, Sergeant. Hey, Sergeant. Sergeant. I remember you now. You were the one that physically removed me.
Karen, if that sergeant has had to physically remove you before, then it's probably a bad idea for you to scream his name over and over to get his attention. Maybe you should just do your business and move around so other people can do theirs. Unless your business is harassing the police officers, and if that's the case, then just move around because you're being an idiot.
I remember. That's why you're throwing my stuff around, huh? You're a tyrant. You're a tyrant. You're a bad cop. You're a bad cop.
Okay, so you're just there to get a reaction. It's confirmed, you're an idiot.
Shame on you. Shame on you. That's why you took me throwing around my property right there.
Wait, did I miss something? Because I didn't see him throwing around your property. Let's rewind the tape.
How's it going today? We're gonna put those by themselves.
I wonder why you cut that part out, Karen. Stop lying, and don't be an idiot.
Because you don't like me. But I don't like you either. I don't like you either. Are you gonna come harass me now?
Well, you were calling out his name over and over. Maybe he's just there to see what you want.
Are you gonna come harass me now? Okay, so what seems to be the problem with me? Why do you have a problem with me? Why do you Why do you
Why are you getting really close to me?
The fallen star
Why are you getting close to me like that?
And soon,
Okay, so keep your distance.
suffer.
You're a person with a gun.
Suffered.
I'm gonna stay.
Gods,
You're a person with a
bring
gun.
me his bones.
Listen, man, you're scaring me right now.
Karen, if your job is to harass police officers and then you get scared when they address you, then you're in the wrong business. You're an idiot.
Yes, you are.
Sorry, I don't mean to scare you.
Get away from me. Get away from me. You need to get away from me. What's your problem? No, I didn't.
Yes, you
No, I didn't. No, I didn't. You set me up. No, I didn't. No, I didn't. You're following me.
What's the problem? You fuck that guy.
Nah, you're
You fuck that guy.
I did not.
Most certainly did.
You want me out of here? Do you want me out of here? I did not. But you're being so following me around.
You bumped the guy. You bumped the guy.
I did not.
You most certainly
I
did.
did not.
You knocked the guy over.
I did not.
You most certainly
No,
did.
I did
You
not.
most certainly did.
I did not.
Yes, you most
No,
certainly
I
did.
did not. And if I did touch you, I would apologize. But this guy knocked the guy over. No, I did not.
Yes, you did.
No, I did not. It's on video, sir. Please.
I know,
don't
it is
say
on
that.
video.
No, it's on video, and you ran into the guy. Intentionally or unintentionally doesn't matter. You're only there to harass the police officers, and now you're harassing the people who have actual business at the courthouse.
I promised Leah
You should
that I
probably
would save
just
her
leave,
uncle,
Karen,
Deckard
because
Cain.
you're being an idiot.
When I found him, he was facing the Skeleton King.
No, I did not.
And now this
No, I did not.
abomination blocks
I'm gonna
my
go ahead and
path
leave.
to the
About
fallen
time,
star.
dickweed.
Because you're intimidating me right now, and I don't. Yes, you are. You're intimidating me right now. You are. You are. You are. Why are you doing this to me?
I don't know, Karen. Maybe it's because you were begging for his attention. So any harassing that you think that you might be experiencing is your own damn fault. You're an idiot.
What do you know?
Why is he doing this?
Why am I doing what to you?
What
am I doing?
He's out of control. You're out of control.
I'm in control.
Sir, get away from me. You need to get away from me.
What's the problem?
You need to get away from me. You're crazy. You're crazy. No, you're crazy. You're crazy. You're going around me. I don't know your intentions. You're being mean.
Okay, Karen. You demanded to speak to the sergeant. You're harassing him and other patrons of the courthouse, and now you don't like the fact that they're being mean to you? I bet you if you showed them a little bit of respect, they'd show you some respect in return. But as long as you keep acting like an idiot, you're gonna get what you deserve.
You're being mean. Yes, you are. No, you're a tyrant. That's what. You don't do that to people. You don't do that to people. You don't do that to people.
Where did that word come from? Tyrant.
Look it up.
Really?
Yes.
Oh, because I'm not educated, so
You're
that's
not.
why I'd have to look it up.
You're not. You swore to protect us, and this is what you do.
Just like a Karen, to treat another human being like they're trash, and then to demand them to service you in return. Karen, you're an idiot.
You need to get away from me, bro. Why are you getting so close to me?
I don't know what you're
Yeah, I know what you're about. You want to set me up. You want to Yeah, you want to set me up. You need to get away from me.
I don't want to set you up.
Yo, you need to get away from me.
I have to be here.
Guys, this guy is harassing me.
I'm not harassing you.
Yes,
I'm
you
talking to
are.
I'm talking
You're
to you.
harassing me.
No, just talking to you.
You need to get away from me.
No, just talking to you.
You need to get away from me.
No, I don't.
Yo, man, that's harassment.
What are you
He's
talking
being
about?
disorderly.
I have some new items that I'm
You're
each of my
disturbing
items
my
is
peace.
very special
He's
to me.
disturbing
But I
my
suppose I
peace.
can sell
What do you
one or
think
two
you were doing,
things if I
dipshit?
must.
In your video, you've done nothing but harass the officer and disturb the peace. You're an idiot.
Sergeant, he's disturbing my peace.
He's not a sergeant. I am.
Please, do the right thing. Tell him to leave me alone. I'm gonna leave. He doesn't work for you.
Yes, he does.
No, he doesn't. He works for the state. He works for the state. For the state.
Does he?
Why are you harassing me?
Oh, Karen. You would think that being a First Amendment serial harasser, you'd know the basics of how things work. Police officers are just normal people. And yeah, they have supervisors and managers above them too. And while they might work for the federal, state, or local government, they don't work for idiots like you, Karen.
I'm not harassing you.
Please,
I'm talking with
please,
you.
I beg you, leave me alone.
Okay.
Leave me alone, please.
Okay.
I'm begging you, leave me alone.
Because you begged me, I will leave you alone.
Oh man, I love this cop. Because you begged me, I'll leave you alone. Bravo, sir.
Look,
Bravo.
Okay,
but I wasn't bothering you.
That's all you wanted, right?
I wasn't
This
bothering
gate is
you.
locked
Yes,
by
you
order of the
are.
captain.
Yes, you are, because you're a person with a gun. You're getting extremely close to me.
What is the gun? I have to wear the gun.
Did you hear?
Karen, you're an idiot. Just like in the military, the gun, taser, badge, hat, and radio are probably part of his uniform. And if he wasn't wearing those mandatory items, then you'd have something to bitch about.
You're harassing me, sir.
I'm not harassing.
Yes, you are.
Why, what did I do to harass you?
Yeah.
What did I do to harass you?
He was doing it to people inside too? Why was he doing that?
Intimidating people.
Yeah, he's doing that. He's doing that. Oh, good. I have witnesses. Did you see him harass me? That's the problem. He has a problem with people with constitutionally protected rights.
It's my constitution, too.
No, you're a tyrant. You don't care about our rights.
This is the type of nonsense that really pisses me off. Police officers are human beings too, and they have every constitutionally guaranteed right that you have. These First Amendment Karens only care about their rights, even when their rights are not actually being violated. Karen, you're an idiot.
You're disturbing the peace right now. Right now, you're being disorderly. That's fun. Yes, you're disturbing my peace, sir. You're disturbing my peace. I'm exercising a constitutionally protected right, a freedom of the press.
Let me guess. You work for the Daily Dumbass. You're an idiot.
You are harassing me. You're impeding my personal space. Yes, and I've repeatedly asked you to stay away from me to the point that I'm outside of the State House.
Maybe instead of just causing a scene outside of the courthouse, you could do something that's actually productive, like get a real job, Karen. Maybe then you'd learn a little something about respect.
You're being disorderly, sir. Yes, you're being disorderly. Yes, you are. Yes, you are. You're certainly disturbing my peace. You're disturbing my peace.
That's your opinion.
So why were you getting so close to me then?
That's your opinion.
Why were you getting so close to me?
You're saying I'm getting close to you.
It's on video. You see, you're delusional. You have a problem. You need
Yeah, Karen. Remember at the beginning of the video when you were screaming over and over for his attention, and now you're begging him to stay away from you? Don't be a hypocrite and stop being an idiot.
Sir, you need a mental evaluation.
Okay. Oh, thank you.
You need a mental evaluation.
Doctor, do you
Yes.
recommend anybody?
Yes.
Who do you recommend?
Yes. I recommend for you to go see a doctor.
He didn't ask you what you recommend, you idiot. He asked you who you recommend. And you called him uneducated?
Go see a doctor. Okay? Because a person like you shouldn't be walking around carrying a gun.
A person like you shouldn't be walking around in public, period. They have padded rooms in hospitals for delusional idiots like you.
Yo, where are you, dog? This guy's harassing me. You're over here eating tacos or something?
Even your idiot friend isn't there to help you. In his opinion, a $2 taco is way more important than keeping you from crying like a bitch.
This guy, he tried to frame me with a charge with the other guy, Chippendale guy. They hate us.
I ain't gonna lie, Karen. I don't even know you, and I already hate you too. Just let these police officers do their jobs and stop acting like an idiot.
He's harassing me like the same way the captain was robbing policemen. Remember? This guy's a tyrant. I'm sorry. You're doing exactly what he did. You know exactly who it is. Yup. You see? Why are you shaking so much?
Let me answer that one for you, officer. This idiot has never worked a hard day in his life. He has no moral foundation to stand up and put his own 2 feet on. And quite frankly, he's a scary bitch.
You're a crazy person with a gun. People shake when there's crazy people with guns around them.
What are you following me for if you're afraid of me?
Boom! Nailed it. He's not fearing for his life. He's only there to harass you, and he can't do that as long as you keep walking away. See, it's never about rights with these guys. It's always about getting a reaction from a public servant so they can get a few extra views on their YouTube channels. All First Amendment Karens are a bunch of idiots.
This is the people's building. You work here. We give you. I'm not following you. This is our building. We give you the privilege to work here. We give you the privilege to work here. I'm not following you. This is my house.
Just like a self-entitled Karen to tell everyone else that they work for him and that the courthouse is his house? Are you kidding me? If it shuts down, do you still get to go in there and cook your dinner? Do you sleep there overnight? Didn't think so, Karen. You're an idiot.
This is my house. Yes. Yes, I do. Yes, I do. I give you the privilege to work here. For you to come and treat me like shit. That's not. You just. What have I said to you?
Well, let's see. You screamed his name to get his attention. You harassed him and others inside the courthouse. You called him a tyrant, a Nazi. You said he was uneducated. And as shitty as all that may be, you actually have the right to do that. And this police officer has actually kept his cool with you while you scream about being scared for your life. Get over yourself, Karen. Idiots like you aren't that important.
Please, keep your distance. Listen, you're a law enforcement officer. I don't care about your feelings. I don't care. I'm not here for you to harass me. I'm not here for you.
Exactly. That police officer realized from the beginning that it was never about the First Amendment, that it was always about views and clicks.
You don't know who the hell I am. You don't know who I am. I'm a person that makes more money than you.
And how would you know, Karen? That guy could be a billionaire while you and your friends are jumping at the rare opportunity to eat a courthouse taco. Like I said, it's never about the First Amendment with these guys. It's all about their views and clicks. And that's why they're idiots. Alright, so I think this is going to be where we end the video today. I can't stress enough the importance of upholding the First Amendment. And there is a right way to do it and a wrong way. This Karen is doing it the wrong way. Don't be Karen. Don't be an idiot. Okay guys, thanks for sticking around until the end of the video. If you found this video entertaining, then give it a thumbs up. Leave a comment below telling me whether you love, hate, or couldn't give two rats' asses about these First Amendment Karens. And hit that subscribe button as you're on your way to my next video. And a massive shout out to all of my patrons and channel members whose support helps me keep doing what I love to do. Calling out idiots on the internet. I'm Team Skeptic.
Ethics, outrage culture, and more, and we're starting right now.
Amazing.
Ladies and gentlemen, thrilled to have you here for another epic discussion, as we have two very distinguished guests that's going to be a lot of fun. So right away, if it's your first time here, consider hitting that subscribe button, as we have a lot more debates coming up. So for example, this Friday, we are very excited that we'll have Jonathan Shepard and Matt Miller debating on whether or not the gospel was authored by Jesus' own disciples. So this will be a lot of fun. And I want to let you know as well, as you're listening, and you, as I want to hear from you in the description. So that way, while you're listening, with that, I'm going to let you know that it's just a very easy style today, just a conversation. I will get the ball rolling by just asking one or two questions, and then I might come in and add another question. We are going to have a Q&A at the end, 25 to 30 minutes. So if you have a question, fire it in the live chat, and I will pull those questions into a list. Also, super chats are or make a comment toward one of them. So with that,
My training has paid off.
on your left, also known as Reverend Jesse, is an author, activist, counselor, and the host of the Jesse Lee Peterson radio show and the popular YouTube series The Fallen State. And he writes for WND.com and is founder and president of Bond, a nationally recognized nonprofit in its 29th year, dedicated to rebuilding the man. Also, you may have seen him on Fox News. And if you have somehow not heard, has the juggernaut science YouTube channel called Professor Dave Explains. So I've gotten to see the content of both of these guys, and have both of them. I put their links down in the description so you can check them out. So with that, we do really just want to say first, thanks so much for being with us today, guys.
Have me on, appreciate it.
Absolutely. And with that, we will jump into this conversation. I guess one of the more controversial ones we will start is the degree to which racism is a problem in our country today. In particular, I'll just ask, we can go first, we'll just go left to right with Jesse, and then to Dave. Jesse, do you think that racism is a significant problem in our country today?
Not at all. Racism has never been a problem in this country at all. And you're hearing this from someone who grew up in Alabama. I was born and raised in Alabama. I was raised on a plantation there under the Jim Crow laws. And we didn't have this so-called racial problem at that time. And it's a made-up word by the so-called black civil rights leaders, the white liberals who have no values. They love what's evil and hate what's good. And so this word racism is just made up to divide and conquer, to control the blacks by causing them to vote for whomever they want to vote for. And most of the time it's for Democrats. And also it's to put fear in white people in order to make them feel guilty about nothing and use them for personal gain. There's no such thing as racism at all. It has always been a lie, and it's a lie today.
Got it. We'll kick it over to Dave.
Okay. I mean, that's a wow. You just said that you grew up on a plantation and racism doesn't exist. So you grew up where slavery happened, where black people were enslaved by white people, and you're a black person and you grew up in the Jim Crow laws, and you're saying racism doesn't exist? I mean, that's just like, it's hard for me to compute the cognitive dissonance that is overflowing in that statement. I don't know if you can clarify
when slavery
what you mean by that.
When slavery happened 150 years ago, it was about slavery. Yeah. It wasn't about racism. The Arabs.
You don't think it's racist? You don't think it's racist for one race to enslave another race? How is that not racism?
So are you saying that when the blacks were in Africa and they were enslaved by other blacks, was that racism?
It's a real place.
Was that racism?
Sure, yeah.
No, it wasn't.
Why not?
In Africa, mommy Africa, blacks were being used by the so-called rich blacks, the ones that were leading, and they were using blacks as money when they made deals. and at some point the Arabs went to Africa. The Arabs went to Africa and captured, and in many cases bought the blacks from the blacks in Africa, and they sold them around the country. And even in this country, there were black people who owned slaves. So it was the.
I don't know much about the history of Africa, but you can't say that white people owning black people is not racism. How is that not racism?
Because
it's a race of people that says another race is inferior to my race.
So are
How
you
is that
saying,
not racism?
Because there are blacks in this country who own other blacks as well as slaves. Are you saying they were racist too?
I mean, I'm not sure if that's true or not. I can't imagine that that's true.
It is true.
But if it is, then
racism.
Well, look, I mean, then fine. Then it's a different kind of racism. But
are you saying that is
slavery is based on white people, of black people being inferior to white people?
Dave,
that's the basis for slavery.
Dave, I just want to move forward with this. Are you saying that the blacks who own other blacks in this country during that time, were they racist as well?
I don't really know. That doesn't really reflect on the institution of slavery.
How do you know if white people are racist, but you don't know if blacks were racist who were doing the same thing?
Maybe there were white people who owned slaves that weren't racist, and that was the way it was done at the time. But slavery, the institution of slavery, which was endorsed by the United States of America, was a racist institution. There were people maybe that didn't agree with it, and maybe even still owned slaves, and maybe they weren't racist, and there were politicians that owned slaves that fought to overturn slavery. So I mean, I'm not talking about every single individual. I'm talking about the institution of slavery. What could be more racist than slavery? The subjugation of a race of people.
So Dave, are you saying that the blacks who owned black slaves in this country, were they racist?
Did you not hear what I just said for the past minute?
You didn't answer my question.
I just answered your question.
You did not answer my question.
Just answer your question.
Dave.
I said that I'm not talking about an individual. I'm talking about the institution of slavery, which is when endorsed by the American government in that time, is a racist institution. I don't need to defend a singular person. Like what a single person believed or did it has nothing to do with the institution of slavery and the laws of a nation.
So are you saying, Dave, that the institution of black people who own other black people in America during that time, was that racist?
But yeah, the owning of black people, turning black people into property, is racism.
So
it doesn't matter who owns them.
Were those black people racist who owned other black people? Were those blacks racist as well?
I don't know. Sure.
What do you mean? I don't know. Sure, you seem mighty sure when you accuse the whites.
Look, you can. There were millions of people in America at that time, and you can go through every single person and say, what did this person think? What did this person think? What did this person? I'm talking in a broader sense.
I am
There's
too.
no defense.
There's a broader amount of black people who own other black people. Are you saying?
No, you're trying to use a very tiny subset. This is not the norm.
No, I'm not.
Right? White people enslaved black people.
Dave,
so you're trying to take like the one or two people.
Dave, are you saying those black people, more than one or two that own black people, were they racist? That's all I want to know from you.
How is turning a race of people into property not racism? I think that's.
You realize you're not answering my question, right, Dave?
No, I did though. When I said that I'm talking about slavery as an institution, so you want to fixate.
Why is it so
this is very obvious apologetics. I mean, you are an apologist here.
Why is it so easy for you to accuse white people who own slaves as racist, but not the blacks who own blacks as slaves?
Well, I mean,
racist?
It's fine. Okay, then they're racist if that's what you want to hear. Sure.
No, that's what I want to hear that from you, Dave.
Okay, well, you said fine. Let's call
it racist. Why is it so hard to accuse the whites but not the blacks?
Why is it so hard to accuse it? Because it's not the norm. If you want to talk about the majority
of people, to tell the truth?
Don't you think the majority of slave owners were white by an incredible margin?
I don't know
how many slave owners were black?
I don't know about incredible margin, but I know
Jesse, look,
there were more.
You're really obsessed about these black slave owners. So how many were there? Tell me. You seem to have some data that you're looking at there. How many slave owners were there?
Dave, I'm not looking at data.
You don't have a number? You don't have a number
I'm
on
telling you that it was more white people because this is a white man's country. Founded in the country. There's more white people here than there were blacks. And so
And then they went and
you're
stole
gonna have
black people
more-
and enslaved them.
Actually, you're gonna have more black people than white people on
I have
slaves.
journeyed here to
But
find
you
Captain
still
Rumford,
wanna
more
put
dead are
white
coming.
people being
We
slaves.
can't open the gates until we drive them back.
Accusing the white people, you know.
I don't love accusing anybody of anything. It's white people who own black slaves. This is racist. How many were there? Yes, it does. It's talking about 1 versus 100,000.
I've never seen anyone fight like that before. Guards,
Because it's
open
a
the gate.
statistical anomaly. It's
Finally,
not
let the
reflective
slaughtered
of
calf
what the
in.
nation was doing.
Well,
The
why
nation
are
of the
you
United
having
States of America enslaved black people,
Why
and
are
they
you
made
having a
them
problem
their
calling it-
property.
Let's move forward, but why are you having a problem
right.
calling it racist? And we can see that you have a problem with that, Dave.
I specifically said it was racist. I conceded that point twice.
So you're saying those blacks who own other blacks were racist?
Sure. For the
No,
sake
no,
of
no.
moving forward.
You're like
Sure.
you're being sarcastic about it.
Watch out! The wounded are turning!
Because I don't because you're using a statistical anomaly to challenge the idea that slavery is racist.
The
I mean,
dead
it's
will
ridiculous. The
overwhelm us.
mental backwards, particularly as a black person. I mean, come on, man.
What does that mean,
don't understand.
particularly as a black person?
I don't understand how you have no sympathy for your own ancestry.
What does that mean? My ancestors were not enslaved.
What can I do to help fight our
Okay.
war?
Well, they're attacking the barricades.
Okay, I don't know your particular lineage,
My ancestors were not enslaved.
how do you know?
Go into more so the question of from the past to today. Is racism
That's
a
one of the wretched
significant
mothers.
problem
There are more of them in the
today
ruins
as
down the
we
road.
kind of live in 2020?
Well, it is. I mean, blacks are disproportionately targeted by, police brutality. I don't think there's any denying the statistics there. That's the first example that comes to mind in terms of racism. I think there are other things that are more subtle. And I'm not really an expert. This is, I have more of a science background. I'm not really too much of a politics and sociology guy. But I mean, you can't deny that blacks are disproportionately targeted for police brutality, and others are disproportionately targeted in other ways as well.
That's another made-up lie. It's not true that blacks are targeted because they're black. There's no such thing as police brutality. The reality is that black people today, not all, but most, black people are suffering due to the lack of moral character, due to the lack of family. Because when I was growing up, under the Jim Crow laws, we had family. We had fathers and mothers who were together, grandfathers and grandmothers who were together. They worked, and they showed us the right way to go. They didn't blame the white man. They treated everyone the way that they would like to be treated. But
So you're saying that
they were
in
treated,
your time,
and they were treated in the way that they would like to be treated. And so
So
what
in your
happened
time,
was
black
the
people
civil
had
rights
family,
movement- Hold on,
and
Dave.
now-
Hold on, Dave. Hold on, Dave.
Let's give them a little bit, and I promise we'll come right back to you, Dave.
And so what happened was the civil rights movement came along, the worst mistake that ever happened to black people. And the civil rights leaders, Jesse Jackson, Martin Luther King, and all those guys, they said to black people, we're your leaders. Stop thinking for yourself and let us tell you how to think. And the blacks, most, not all, turned their lives over to the civil rights movement. And then along came the Democratic Party, Lyndon B. Johnson. And the black civil rights leaders, Lyndon B. Johnson, the Democratic Party made an agreement. Hey, let us have the blacks on the Democratic plantation. We'll keep them there for 200 years, and we'll provide for them. We'll give them welfare. We'll give them free stuff.
And then just
They
to
can't have a father in the home.
just because there's a lot of
Blacks said yes. And they took the fathers out of the home. The so-called black corrupt race hustlers became the head of the people. The Democratic Party began to use them.
Let's-
and they have not recovered.
let's wrap it up. Just because there's a lot of points, we'll kick it back over to Dave.
Okay, so you're the entire basis for this fantasy narrative that you're spinning is
not a
that
fantasy,
when you
Dave.
were young.
One sec.
Hey, let me get a few words out here, buddy. Your whole thing is that when you were young there was family in the black community, and now there's not.
Yeah.
Is that kind of the gist of it? So what are you basing that on? Did you have some kind of census statistics? Where are the black people that were without family? Give me some numbers here.
70% or more black babies born out of wedlock today. Everybody.
Where are you getting that from?
Everybody.
Give me a
and their daddy
citation.
in jail.
Give me a citation.
Everybody.
Give me a
and their daddy-
citation.
Hey.
You don't have a citation?
Everybody and their daddy in jail. Black people hate white folks. They're relying on the government.
Jesse, you're
then
just making
when
things
they're
up.
stopped,
I mean, you're literally making things up.
Hold on, Dave. When they're stopped by the cops, they give the cops attitude. They call them racist. They attack the cops. What do you expect the cops to do? Because the blacks have been brainwashed.
What I don't expect the cop to
the
do
cops
is to
go
shoot an
against-
unarmed man. I do not expect
what
the
they
cop to
expect-
shoot an unarmed man.
They have
That's
been
what I
told
don't
that the cops
expect
are
them to
against
do.
them, and that the cops are racist. They are told that
Jesse,
the cops are
you know,
against
this
them.
is a really cool story. I mean, it
And the
sounds
cops
like a
are
really
racist.
fun story and a real fun thing to talk about, but you're basing it on nothing. You just said 70% of black babies are born out of wedlock. And I asked you for a citation. You talked over me because you knew that you don't have one and you don't want to provide one. Because you're making that up out of thin air. You have nothing to back that up at all. That's your narrative that you're spinning.
Since you're an intellectual, I understand that intellectual people have no logic. And I believe it. I believe
intellectual people have no logic.
Right.
Yeah. Okay.
Have you noticed that?
No, I haven't. I think actually intellectual people have logic.
No.
That's kind of what makes them intellectuals.
No, that's why the world is going crazy, because the intellectuals have no logic.
Right.
And the people
Right,
are following
right,
the
right,
census
right.
are following it. But according to the census, 70 to 70% of black babies are born out of wedlock. Are you saying
Which
that you're
census?
not
Where are you getting that data?
Are
Where?
you saying that you're
I
not
said the word census. You're just repeating the word census that I used.
Dave, are you aware? Are you saying that you're not aware of that information?
I'm saying that that is a lie that you made up, and you have nothing to back that up.
Okay, so you're saying you're
Give me
not
a link.
aware-
Give me a citation. Tell me something where you
You're
find
saying
that.
you're not aware that between 70 and 77% of black babies born out of wedlock.
I'm telling you that I don't believe that, and that you
so you're
have
not
nothing. You have no citation to provide me,
You're not
and I think
aware
I know
of
why
that,
you don't have
right?
any citation.
Hey, Dave.
I'm not aware of the. I'm not aware of the lie that you're saying.
I told you intellectuals have no logic.
So if I don't believe, so if you lie to me and I don't believe your lie, I am an intellectual without logic.
Do you love black people?
Are you a chicken?
Dave, do you love black people?
Yes, I love all people.
So are you happy that they're coming from broken homes? They're relying on the government. They don't think for themselves. They're having babies out of wedlock. They're having abortions like 90 going north. They're whining and begging and blaming and acting like bitches. Does that make you happy, Dave?
This story that you're telling, no, I don't really like this story because it's a misrepresentation of an entire race of people.
Not all, but most.
Come, let us search
I think
the
that
world.
black people are disproportionately under the poverty line, but all of these things that you're
And
saying,
why is that?
black people are whining. Black people are whining. Do you know every black person? I mean, how can
Why
you
is that
say something like
they're
that? It's
under the
ridiculous.
poverty level?
Adria was my mother.
Well, I think that's because of racism. You know what I mean? I think that just because blacks were given the right to vote by Democrats, by the way, by civil rights. I'm not a Democrat, by the way. I mean, I don't identify as a Democrat. I certainly don't identify as a Republican. But obviously, Democrats have been the ones to enfranchise black people with the vote. And by the way, we should talk about other races too, Arabs.
Well, the Democrats fought against the blacks voting. It was a Republican who pushed for the blacks to vote, and the Democrats
That's objectively false.
The Democrats fought against it. But I
That's
do want to
objectively
tell
false.
you.
You just talked about
said
Lyndon
that-
Johnson. I mean,
you said that the
what
blacks
he
are
did.
under poverty. They are in poverty or something like that. Poverty levels, something, right?
I think so. I mean, I'm not prepared with statistics either because this is not really my field, and I didn't really prepare for this at all. But I
so
think
Dave,
that that's
I wanna
true.
ask
If you want, we could Google it. We could Google it, and we could also Google your claim about the 70%. We could see if that's true or not. Do you want to turn this over to a Google party
Yeah,
and
you
check
can
your
Google, but let me ask you
statistics?
this,
You want to
Dave.
let your friend over there Google it?
Let me ask you this. if the blacks were to get married and they had father and mother in the homes, the father and mother were to provide it, did it the right way, were a good example for their children, would they be under poverty level, or whatever you said?
There are plenty of family
that's not what I'm
familial
asking.
units.
I asked, would the blacks be under poverty level if they have fathers and mothers in the homes?
Yeah, and I'm answering your question, so maybe don't cut me off and actually listen to the words I'm saying. I'm saying that there are plenty of familial units, married people with children, that are currently under the poverty line. So I don't know what you're talking about.
Are you able to will you answer my question now?
I just did. So
no, I didn't
maybe
ask
you didn't
about
understand.
other people, Dave. I asked about the blacks.
You said, would black people be above the poverty line if they got married and did it the right way? And my response to you is that they do it the right way and are still under the poverty line. So it's a dumb question. That's my answer.
You're not an honest man, Dave. This is difficult to debate.
So when I demonstrate that you lie, I'm not. When I demonstrate that you lie, I'm not an honest man. Is that what's going on here?
Do you enjoy seeing blacks play victim?
What do you mean play victim? Give me an example of playing victim. What does that mean?
Pretending that they're in poverty, pretending that the white man is holding them back.
Well, the poverty line is objective. People that are under the poverty line aren't pretending; they are under the poverty line. Who's pretending that they're under the poverty line or not?
Are you happy?
Yeah, anybody.
Are you happy to see the blacks as victims?
No, I don't want to see anybody as a victim.
And what is the solution?
Well, that's a very good question. I mean, I would say I'm not an expert, but I think we need a massive redistribution of wealth. I think we need to redistribute some of the wealth at the very top of the 10th of 1%. We need to get companies like Amazon to actually pay taxes. We need to redistribute that amongst the community. We need to put money back into education, social services. Yeah,
you're saying we need to take Oprah, Bill Cosby, Barack Obama, and all those guys. We need to take some of their money and give it to the blacks.
Oh, I'm talking about people much richer than that. I'm talking about like Jeff Bezos.
Not Oprah or Obama. Obama.
I mean, Oprah's super wealthy. I think she could give a little more.
Are you talking about?
I mean, we could take a little more from Oprah. I mean, Bill Cosby. I mean, he's in jail, right? Obama, what's he worth?
He worth more than you and me.
Oh, he's definitely worth more than me. I don't have anything. I mean, sure. Let's bump him up another 5%. I don't know. See, the problem is this is the conservative.
So sorry for the blacks that you want to take from the whites and give to them.
Yes. So this is not an issue of race. This is not an issue of race at all.
Rather than making the blacks earn their way, you want to take from the whites. And give to the blacks.
Wealth inequality is a problem that transcends race. And I'm not saying we should take it from white people and give it to black people. I'm saying we should take it from rich people and give it to poor people. The richest people.
Who do you want to take it from?
I didn't mention Bill Gates, but sure, fine, Bill Gates. I don't know. The richest.
Bill Gates a minute ago.
I definitely did not mention Bill Gates.
I was talking over you. I didn't hear you.
Nobody mentioned Bill Gates. I said Jeff Bezos.
Oh yeah,
I didn't mention race.
I'm sorry about that. Yeah. So
I didn't mention race at all.
You'd rather see Jeff give his money to the blacks rather than blacks earning their way.
That's not what I said at all.
That's
not what I said at all.
That's a question.
Okay. Can I answer the question?
Yes, sir.
Okay, I'm going to answer the question. As I said, which I will reiterate again, I think that we need to get corporations such as Amazon to pay their fair share of taxes. Amazon currently pays 0 taxes. We need to actually collect taxes from these large multinational corporations, put them in federal funds, not just hand money to black people, right? We need to put them in federal, we need to be dispensing federal funds that go to education, public services, right? And perhaps disproportionately to the poorest areas. If they're black, great. If they're not, fine. If they're white, I don't care. Poor people need more money.
How would that help the blacks? By putting more money into education. We're already doing that up the yang, and they're getting worse and not getting better.
In where?
They're getting worse and they're not getting better.
Did you say yin yang?
Yeah, we're giving them more money. We're spending more money on education than any other country, and the blacks are getting worse rather than getting better.
See, this is the problem with having a conversation with you. Did you just say that America spends more on education than any other country?
Absolutely.
So that's wrong. Per capita,
Not wrong.
that's objectively wrong. So you can, this is the problem, like you're just throwing out anything you want to support your narrative and you have no facts to back it up. You're objectively wrong. We do not spend more per
When
capita
you
than
get
any other
home
nation.
tonight, make sure you Google all this, all right? You'll see.
How about you Google it? And how
I
about
don't
the
need
viewers
you. I already
Google
know
it?
the truth.
No, you don't, because you cannot provide me a source for anything you're
So
saying.
why
'cause
not?
You know you're
why
lying.
not encourage family for the blacks? Why not say, hey, black people, get married, earn your way, save your money, invest.
What does that have to do with anything we just talked about?
Why would you?
Black people
encourage
can get
that?
married if they
Hey,
want to, not get
would
married
you
if they don't want to.
encourage
Hold on,
that
just to hear one at a time.
Would you encourage that for your family, Dave, or would you encourage them to get up and earn it?
Encourage what?
The white man give more money into the schools and all that, so your family can make it. Or would you
the notion of an imminent
encourage
attack
family
by Westmarch
for your own
I'm
personal
encouraging-
family?
against the Archbishop?
Those are
Because
not
there's
even
not
remotely
their
related. I'm
empty
encouraging the United States government to collect taxes from large multinational corporations and divest them into education and other social services. It's
So
not
I'm
a
asking
race
you a
issue
different
at all.
question,
It's
though.
not a
I'm
family issue
asking
at all.
you, would you encourage?
Yeah, you're asking me a
your family
nonsensical
to-
question.
Would you encourage your family to get married and do it the right way, or would you encourage them to wait for handouts?
Okay, hang on. Let's take a little aside here. Why is getting married the right way? What does that mean? What are you talking about?
Because when all your little studies have proven that when kids are raised by two parents in the home, they do better in life.
Why do they have to be married?
Because it's the right way. It's the right thing to do. Are you an
Why?
atheist, Dave? Are you an atheist?
Yeah.
I'll
I
rest
am.
my case.
What case? You don't have a case. You can't rest a case that doesn't exist.
What
Why is
do
getting
you-
married better than just living together?
So-
Why do two people have to be married?
So being an atheist, does that mean you don't believe in God? There's a God?
That's exactly what that word means. Yes.
So where do you get your? So you don't, Dave? You don't believe there is a God?
Yes, I do not possess a belief in a God. Correct.
And do you believe there is one? You just don't believe in him, or you don't believe he exists?
You just asked me if I believe there is one, but I don't believe in him. Is that what you just asked me?
No, I didn't hear you clearly. Are you saying you don't believe there is a God?
I don't think that it can be stated any clearer. I said I do not possess a belief in any God. I cannot break it down more simply than that.
But a belief is different than believing that it exists. You just don't believe in him, but you do believe there is a God. Am I understanding this right?
No, you definitely are not understanding correctly. I do not believe that a God exists.
Oh, I see. And so where do you get your moral values from?
I have consciousness.
Where you get that from?
My brain.
Oh, amazing. I told you the intellectual one
It
has
is,
no
huh?
logic.
Yeah, but you can kind of just say that to anybody that doesn't agree with you and you have no retort. So that's not really much of a thing to say.
But look at the intellectual days; they are as dumb as a doorknob. If you have an issue, they'll take you to a psychiatrist, and they'll give you medication rather than showing you how to overcome the problem. If you're a little child with energy, with a lot of energy, for boys, they'll give you medication and dumb down the energy rather than showing you how to overcome the problem. Tell me that's not
Dumb down the energy. That's the most pseudoscientific sentence I've ever heard in my entire life. So why don't you expand on that? Tell me about a problem that a child would have and what drug you think might be prescribed for it and why you think that that is a bad thing.
It's happening every day, Dave. When little kids go to school, for an example, and especially boys, because boys and men are hated in this country today. When they go to school, they have a lot of energy, and the teachers handle them. Beta teachers, beta. They tell the parents, get them antidepressants, get them something to make them calm down, because the kids become drug addicts.
So you think that kids that are hyper are given antidepressants and then they become drug addicts?
Because
That's
the
what you're saying?
intellectual have no common sense. They do not know how to help you or tell you how to overcome the issue, so they drug you down, and now you.
Yeah, is it that, or you just have no idea what you're talking about and you're
Most
not a
of these
trained
kids
professional?
become young adults who are relying on drugs because they've been dumbed down in the school.
Which proportion? What proportion of people are relying on drugs, and which drugs, and where are you getting that data from?
One is too many, Dave.
Time for that creature to die.
One is too many. Having
Yes.
one person on drugs is too many.
Are
Which
you
drugs?
saying you're not aware of that, Dave?
I'm saying I am not aware of the lie that you just made up. Yes, because you
What
just
was
made
the
it up.
lie?
How could I be aware of
Lie.
that? You just said that most people, you're talking about children that are hyper, given antidepressants, and are now addicted to drugs, and then you said that most people are addicted to drugs.
You know what the intellectuals call it? They call it HDD or something dumb. They make up a name for it, and they throw drugs down the kids' throat and destroy their energy. And now the kids
I
walk
think you were
around.
trying to say. I think you were trying to say ADHD. Is that
Yeah,
what you were
something
trying to
dumb
say?
like that, because the intellectuals
Okay.
have no idea what they're doing.
So we can look at this. This is amazing. We just found one tiny little thing that we agree on a little bit. And I'm going to tell you what it is. There was a time, I think in the 90s, it might have lapsed over into the early 2000s, where Ritalin was overprescribed. That's true. That is true, and it has happened that certain medications have been overprescribed. I will agree with you on that.
Thanks for being honest, Dave. And most, if not all, most of the children, especially who have received the medication, did not need it.
I don't think you can say most. I said overprescribed. But here's the problem. You're taking that and you're making this gigantic leap of logic to say, what did you say, that most people are addicted to drugs or something along these lines? Or
Most of
I mean,
them
you're basically trying to invalidate the entire field of psychiatry.
Because
which is
when they
insane.
when they do either graduate from high school or college or leave high school, they reach out to other drugs because now they can't deal with society. They don't know how to deal with the issues of life, and so they tend
Which
to
drugs?
reach out. They tend to go for pot. Some of them use other forms of drugs because they've been.
Where's your data?
Because their brains have been dented, and they have not been able to deal with the issues.
Where's
growing
your
up.
data?
And now they
Where's
have
your
to.
data?
Now they have to rely on some form of drug or another.
So what's the difference between that being true and you just having made that up?
I did not make that up, Dave. Most people know that.
How do we know? How do we know you didn't just make that up? Do you have data?
When you get home tonight, look at Google.
I'm currently home and I'm aware of what Google is.
Well,
do you
when
want to
we're
turn this
done
into
here,
a
make
Google
sure-
party?
When we're done here, be sure to look at Google.
Yeah, I've seen Google and I know that there's information on it. Do you want to do that now and check up on what you're saying and find some data?
Well, that's up to the host.
This might be a point at which we could switch into one thing we hadn't talked about. But Jesse, I know that you had mentioned that as a country, the United States hates men or boys. And so I'll let you put it in your own words so I don't accidentally misrepresent you. But that's something that, Dave, you looked like you maybe didn't agree. And so that's maybe something we could talk about.
Okay.
Dave,
Yeah, we can change. Yeah, no problem.
Jesse, I'll give you a chance just in case I didn't state that correctly, if you want to explain what you mean by that.
Men and boys are the most hated species on this side of heaven. And the reason